Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast for Wednesday, August 18th. Thomas Miller, and I've got some news for you. Wow. I experienced something that I've never experienced before yesterday morning. I was sitting at my computer just working away, and all of a sudden the house literally just shook for a brief second. Boom, just like that. And there was a loud thud. I checked with the owner of the house. He was okay. It was raining, but I grabbed an umbrella and walked around the house. No trees had fallen. About 20 minutes later, he texted me that we had had an earthquake. It was a 2.7 on the Richter scale, so very, very, very small. But my goodness, I have never experienced one before. I wouldn't say that that was on my bucket list, but but I was thinking, we've been talking about all these yods, and on our Subconscious Mind Mastery podcast, we talk about this a lot, where we put our focus, right? What we concentrate on, where we set our intentions. Well, we've been talking about the finger of God. And then yesterday afternoon, about mid-afternoon, we were under a tornado warning for about 45 minutes. Not the side of the county where I am, but over on a little further east, definitely there was a punchy storm, and they thought it could form a tornado. I know that so many of us have been experiencing these things that are just so out of the ordinary, and I think that's part of the consternation. That's part of the tension that we are all feeling. Well, in the sky today, we now have a Capricornian Saturn-influenced moon. It's already there. It moved in at 2 o'clock this morning. The other aspect for basically everybody listening to this will happen tomorrow, but it officially occurs tonight, is that we get this conjunction of two planets that we've been talking about quite a bit. Mercury and Mars conjoin in Virgo at 11:27 p.m. tonight Eastern Time. Right off the bat, we would say, watch your tongue, right? This is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And in Virgo, watch your tongue at work. And this is one of those aspects that if it tips over to the shadow side, which, of course, in our world today, we have so many reasons why it could, that you could get some explosive anger and just let out something that you wish you could take back. And you might be the recipient of that on somebody else's part. Well, give them the space. Understand that they're feeling Mars, Mercury too. Now, let's talk about the flip side, because there's also a great side to this. That it's in Virgo could be something like you get the idea of a lifetime that is going to make you a billionaire. It is. It's that mental sharpness, that mental acuity, combined with that communication ability of bringing something to life. And I would be looking particularly around work areas. On a more realistic scale, if you have an idea that you think could move something forward in your projects or company, put it out there today. In other words, risk that the energy just might be or would be in your favor. The other thing you could do is carve in some time today to meditate, particularly on work-related issues. See what ideas come up, and also particularly capture any thoughts. You know those thoughts that just come into your mind and you often just dismiss those as, well, that's just my monkey mind or whatever. No, today, pay attention to those thoughts, because that is communication. So don't just brush them off, and maybe even the wilder or the more zany or out there, well, listen to it today. And then, of course, anything communication related, as long as you're in the right space, particularly love, if you're bringing love to the occasion and you write something today, put it out there. It will be received powerfully and strongly. If you tip away from the positive side, there's that whack, that's that side we just talked about. Don't go there. Be on the good side. So before you hit send on that email, before you send that text, make sure, is this going out in the context and the language of love? And if it is, fire away. Now, on the collective side, something interesting is happening related to this, because Mars rules armies. And obviously something is taking place over in Afghanistan right now that has this Mars-Mercury signature. Interesting because Mars and Mercury are both trine to Uranus in Taurus. I think the universal reaction has shown in this situation both surprise and I'm seeing a lot of disagreement with the decision, particularly families of those whose kids were either lost or permanently maimed from being there. Plus, we're seeing the tragedy of how it is affecting so many people. And this yod that just ended was Mars-Mercury at the top, the wounded healer, Chiron, at the bottom, in Aries, ruled by Mars, and Saturn in Aquarius, bringing the shadow side of authoritarianism, which is certainly going to take place under the new leadership, particularly to how it is going to affect and relate to women. Was this yod of this past weekend related to Afghanistan? Maybe. Certainly things were triggered under it. I think you could express the latitude of how it came down was Uranian. And then starting a new regime, however you feel about it, but starting anything like that with Saturn in Aquarius, I would think would have a damper on it. So let's take this to the positive side and let's send positive energy to those who are affected and involved in this. Their lives are upside down right now, but one day they will be settled. They will resume normal lives as best they can, probably in new places. And let's just wish them success in that venture. Let's send them positive energy to all the people affected by this who are uprooted right now and hurting. Let's send them love, collectively, together, right now. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate it. See you back tomorrow. Have a good hump day. Bye-bye.